Nonfiction, an introduction. Nonfiction is writing that deals with real people and events. The character, setting, and events must conform to what is true. That is, it actually happened. We can think about nonfiction in two ways. We can have a nonfiction narrative, which still tells a story, or we can have nonfiction in terms of an article or a textbook or scientific evidence. That sort of stuff is all considered to be nonfiction. A couple of types of nonfiction. Please note that these are not all types of nonfiction. First, we have a biography, which is a story of someone's life written by someone else. So, for example, I might choose to write the story of my father's life, which would mean I was writing a biography of my father. The focus of a biography is going to be what is important about this person. It could be the person's character, career, or his or her place in history. What makes the character's experience unique? A good biography should be accurate and it should be honest. An autobiography, then, is a story of a person's life as written by that person. So, for example, if I was to write the story of my own life, I would be writing an autobiography. An autobiography is usually chronological, which means it goes in order from birth until whichever present point you are at. It is a narrative, which is a story of the person's life. The author relates his or her life story to crucial historical events. For example, I might include why the story of 9/11 was important to my own development. The author offers personal evaluations and thinks about why things are significant. So, for example, I might talk about the time when I learned that relationships are difficult, and I might tell the story that helped me learn that. An essay is a brief examination of a subject. It's usually a very limited view. A formal essay has a serious tone. It also does not use the word I, it does not use contractions, and it does not use slang or informal language. A couple of types of formal essay. We have exposition, which explains a subject, and the writer is writing to inform. Facts are presented, but the opinion is not. An informal essay, on the other hand, can be written as if the author is speaking to the reader. So words like I are used, as well as contractions, and less formal language is also acceptable. We have three types of informal essays. Persuasion, which is when I'm trying to convince you of something. The writer purposely arranges the essay so that the reader will share the writer's opinion. A persuasion essay or persuasive essay is only successful if the reader comes to believe what the writer is saying. We have a descriptive essay, which presents a picture or an impression of a subject. It recreates a person, place, or event using language that is really appealing. Lots of imagery is used here. It tells us how something looks, smells, tastes, sounds, and feels to the touch. These are the five senses. And then we have a narration essay, which is to relate a series of events or tell a story. Again, events are usually in chronological order. That means working from beginning to end. Has the form of a story, but the events are factual. Right. Again, I would see a narration style essay in a biography or an autobiography. Author depicts characters and may use dialogue. So this is using quotation marks where the characters are talking. Why might I write an informal essay, or a formal essay for that matter? To entertain. Perhaps I'm just telling a story and I just want my reader to enjoy it. To inform, maybe I have something important to share. Or to explain, maybe I want to tell them why or how something is. Last is to persuade, which is to convince the reader of something. Persuade and explain can be quite similar. Tones for writing essays. The tone reflects the author's feeling or judgment, right? So the tone, there's no set tone that you must have, but tones include things like humorous, contemplative, thoughtful, angry. These are all examples of tones. Now that we've looked a little bit at types of nonfiction writing, we're going to take a look at writing our own autobiography.